Hola,
Hola,
¿cómo estamos? ¿Cómo andamos? Bienvenidos a
Spanglish Confessions
Welcome to our first
podcast. Our first episode, not first podcast,
yeah,
episode. Todo. This is the first of
everything.
everything and the first of many.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
manifestation.
sit tight and enjoy the show.
Okay, this is going to be a wild show. Keep up. If you can't keep up, rewind and watch again and listen again.
And it's going to be Spanglish, so if you can't function in two languages, go back and forth. This is a time to learn. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
We're here to teach you. But anyways, this show, we wanted to dive into what it really means to be a Latino or Latina raised in the U.S. First generation children of immigrants. It's a hard job for a lot of us. I feel like we represent our parents like resilience, motivation, their hopes and dreams, and that's a big burden to carry. And it's not a burden.
No, it's not a burden.
It's not a burden at all. It's a gift. It's
Yeah.
a gift, and we're blessed to be here. So, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Viri.
And every week, we're here to present a new episode. We're going to talk about different topics.
Culture, chisme, just a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
That's why our name is Spanglish Confessions, because we will have some confessions, whether it's from you guys, our listeners, or ourselves.
Our own personal stories.
¿Quién sabe? ¿Quién sabe? ¿Será mentira? ¿Quién sabe?
And on that note, we love to hear from you guys. We want to hear from you guys, and we're going to set up an email or Instagram as well. Go follow us on Spanglish Confessions. Spanglish_confessions is our Instagram handle. We'll link it on the episode. Go follow us. You can see clips about the
what
podcast,
to expect on the following episode.
behind the scenes on how we are. Pero como les dijimos, this is the first of everything, the first of many. Yeah. We want to have conversations with you guys, so we definitely want to keep you guys included. I feel like that's the best way to build a community, which is also one of our goals for this podcast. Build a community of people who have similar stories and very different.
Who could relate exactly to what we went through, or relate in a different way, because it's not like maybe it's you grew up in a Spanish household or Hispanic household, and you don't speak Spanish now, and you're considered a Nosabo kid, right? And it's like, or also not, how did you have to learn Spanish too, or English? So it's like, how do we grow up adapting to different things, and how it affects us and just keeps affecting us and
as we grow up. Yeah, I feel like there's those problemas, like the cringe-worthy moments, everything never leaves us. And that's why this podcast is so important to us, because I know growing up I had a lot of cringe-worthy moments. Learning English it's a learning curveball, and especially when your parents don't know the language either.
Yeah, or especially, you're young and then you start going to school and you obviously learn English, and now you are the designated translator, since when you're 6, 7.
Yeah.
And so I feel like a lot of people could relate to that, because either being the firstborn, the oldest sister, you grow up with so much responsibilities, and then being the youngest, it's different. Like maybe it's like, oh, you had it very easy because you're the youngest. Did I? I'm very grateful, yes, but it's very different. We all have different experiences, so.
Yeah, and I'm the oldest of my family. You're the youngest, so our experiences are similar but very different. And I feel like a lot of people can put in stories about maybe being the middle child. I don't know what the middle child experience is like, or being the daughter and being a son. How different is that? How you're treated? I know there's difference in my family.
Yeah. So I have a brother. She has a brother, so we could relate to that too. It's just little things. There's that favoritism too. So that there's so many topics that we want to go into. So, but just to come back and circle back with what we wanted to start, I'll let Stephanie take lead.
Yeah. So we already went into a little bit of why we wanted to start this podcast together, but I guess the personal reason why I wanted to start this podcast with Viri was because I am the oldest daughter of immigrants, like I mentioned, and I feel like there's so much to overcome as the first one, because you're the first one to go through school, you're the first one to start translating, and I feel like there was never anything that I did for just myself. I feel like I was always putting others first, and for once, like, this is something that we started that I can mold, I can let my creative outlet. It's like a creative outlet for me. I guess you could say it started out as a hobby, because growing up I didn't have time for hobbies. I really didn't, and this is so exciting for me. I see it going further than just chisme and stuff.
Than just our hobby.
Than just our hobby. I see it being a platform for a lot of us to be able to talk, and we can read your stories, and we can all laugh together, and just meeting a community of people who can relate. So that is my goal, to hear from you guys, so you guys hear from me, and we can all reírnos de nuestras desgracias que hemos vivido. This is, I feel, for me, like, I want to bring comedy into this. I want to be able to laugh through our struggles, even though we're touching on some serious topics. There's always a silver lining. That's how I see it. And si no nos podemos reír de nuestras desgracias, then nos vamos a amargar.
Sí.
Yo no quiero estar amargada. I'm going to turn you guys to Viri.
Okay. Well, como ya saben, mi nombre es Viri, y básicamente Spanglish Confessions for me is more than just a podcast. It's going to be my safe space, como dijo Stephanie, our hobby for now, but it's also my safe space after my 9 to 5, my regular work schedule. I feel like for once it's going to be something else that I could look forward to doing outside of work, because there's so much that comes outside of work that I believe, like, we grew up with that mentality of always constantly having to work. And which, that's all nice and everything, because I know I grew up always constantly hearing, échale ganas, ponte las pilas, ponte a trabajar, trabaja mucho y vas a salir adelante, which all of that is true. But at the same time, it's okay to step back and do something for yourself. And I feel like we don't hear that often. I feel like it's always like, haz esto, haz esto, haz esto, working for somebody else. And if you don't work for somebody else, you're not successful. And at the same time, this is something for myself. This is something that we are going to be echándole ganas for, something that we want to have a good outcome for us, que nos vaya a beneficiar a nosotros, que nosotros podamos hacer una comunidad para otras personas that they could relate to us. That is why this is a time to shine with Spanglish Confessions. So as well, I did want to say que siempre la gente, nosotros mismas nos ponemos los límites solo porque tenemos miedo de qué vaya a decir la gente. Y en realidad siempre la gente va a hablar, bueno o malo, así que no importa. So finally, like, the time has come to just not care and echarle ganas to this that we want to continue to do and continue to grow. So, and then as well, and in honor of Women's History Month, queremos enseñar que sí se puede hacer lo que tú quieras hacer, que no te pongas límites, porque al fin de cuentas, nomás nosotros somos las únicas que nos ponemos nuestros propios límites, and don't let anybody tell you no porque solo eres una mujer. So that's my little piece. So
yeah, that's very good. I like how you mentioned Women's History Month, because this is a good month to start something.
Yeah.
I mean, we're two women that have, like she said, constantly being told no because of your gender, and I don't think that's good. But we're starting this porque somos chingonas. Y
just like I know that there's a lot of people, that are so echándole ganas con esa mentalidad de working hard, it gets you places, and it does. So for once, this is something that we could do for ourselves, que le vamos a echar ganas y vamos a salir adelante.
Exactly.
So with you guys.
Yeah, we want to tell you guys that we're here for you every week. We will upload an episode every week. That is our goal. Si por alguna razón we're missing an episode, call us out. Call us out on our shit.
Yes.
Are we allowed to cuss?
I don't know.
I think we are. And if we're not, we'll figure it out. We hope you guys join us for our first episode. We're going to dive into work and how that is playing out in our adult lives. And then we can work our way back. We can touch on other subjects, but we met through work, so I feel like our first episode should be about work. Yeah. Like how it was going from our teenage years to our adult work and why we're here now. Each week we're here. We want to hear from you guys. We'll leave a link below so you can guys send us a message, look at our Instagram and our email as well, where you guys can submit and instructions on how to submit, please, your stories. Yeah. Okay, but every week we want you guys to submit a story. We are here to listen to you guys. By default, everything will be anonymous. But make sure you guys change the names and details of your story, because we will read it exactly how it's sent to us. Of course, we're not going to mention your name. Unless you want us to mention your name. I see.
Unless you want us to call you out, girl, that's on you.
Yeah, or guy, whoever you are. Yeah. But this is a safe space. I feel like we want to make it a safe space. Mm-hmm. Y escuchamos, no juzgamos, pero sí
criticamos.
Criticamos y regañamos.
Sí. A veces siento que es bueno que te regañen, ¿verdad? Mm-hmm. Porque a veces hacemos tanta mensada que we need somebody to call us out on our
Like, I know we have BS. A good relationship where it's like, I know she can call me out on my BS and regañarme.
And if I really want a consejo, I feel like, I'm like, I already know she's going to give me the right answer, or like, what I don't want to hear. But I'm like, okay, give me the answer of being delulu with me, and then give me the real one. So it's like,
Yeah, and we're good at being Delulu, so we will be Delulu with you.
Extra.
But we will give you at the end like una
Yeah.
regañada if it's granted.
Uh-huh.
Si no, pues, you know.
A nicely well done regañada, porque we're sensitive here. You
Yeah.
know, we need to be
And
nice.
you can let us know. I want to be delusional. We'll be delusional
Yes.
with you, and we will say this person wants us to be delusional with them.
Yes.
Yeah, but don't be
Not all the
sending
time.
crazy weird stories.
Tampoco.
Tampoco, okay? No aprovechen de nuestra nobleza.
But also en lo mientras que unless we get too overwhelmed with so many stories from you guys, pero we're just shooting big. But we will actually be having personal stories or like personal confessions from our family members. Obviously, we're going to keep that anonymous, but I know we're going to be touching some stories or like some little confessions from our family members. So we'll kind of start sharing those first, and that way you guys get a feel of how it's going to go on with them. So.
We'll definitely start off with personal stories first, and then we will let you guys submit stories, and we'll just categorize them like depending on what episode we're filming. Yeah. But without further ado, o sin preámbulos, it's a new word, okay? Every day is a learning curve. Sin preámbulos, or without further ado, please join us for our next episode where we talk about work. Like I said, we met at work, so it makes sense, and how we transitioned from our teenage years to retail, food service,
to now our current career.
Yeah, to corporate, our current careers, our adult jobs. Y cómo cambian las cosas between our families, how we're treated differently, todo eso, and the expectations our parents had, families and friends, and how that changed. But I'm not going to dive into it right now, so you'll have to wait for our next episode where we expect you to be there. We hope you're there. We don't expect you. No los quiero regañar. Empecé con la regañada.
No, acabamos de empezar. Todavía la regañada tiene que esperar.
No, but we hope you guys are there for our first official episode about work. And
we're super, super excited. So thank you guys so much for joining us.
We'll see more of this next time.
Okay, but thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye.
Adios.